What's up, DC Nation? Welcome back to another video on Robin. This is issue number 4. Last issue ended with Damien being saved by his grandpa, Ra's al Ghul. If you want more context on previous events in the series, click the link below. But yeah, getting into this new issue, we begin with Damien waking up in a tent with Goliath at his side. Yep, Goliath is back. Damien hugs the big monster with joy. This scene is really nice and a great way to kick off the issue. Damien then notices all the bandages on his arms. He remembers almost dying by Connor Hawk's hands. But then he was saved. Not by his father, but by his grandpa. Once Damien remembers this, he gets frustrated. He then finds Ra's al Ghul on a rock meditating. Did that life of comforts with your father teach you to sleep in, boy? Or have you always been this lazy? Ra's al Ghul says, I knew it! You're working with the League of Lazarus! With the League of Shadows! With Hawk! You took me from Lazarus Island to keep me from winning the tournament, did you? Grandfather! Damien shouts. Ra's al Ghul then tells Damien he's not allied with the League of Lazarus anymore. They were a mistake. Also, Damien should be thanking him. See, Goliath brought Damien to Ra's, and Ra's patched him up. Why was the League of Lazarus kept secret from me? Damien asks. There is much you don't know about your past, our family's past. This is hardly the first piece of my history that is better left buried. But what Mother Soul wishes to unearth, when I tell you leave it alone, I mean it. You want nothing to do with the League of Lazarus. No good can come from you being in the tournaments. Ra's al Ghul says, after everything you've done to me, my father, my mother, who are you to give any advice? Damien says, charging to attack his grandpa, but then Damien falls to the ground in pain. He's unhealthy, vulnerable, and weak. If you were healthy, I have no doubt you could kill me, Ra's al Ghul says. Damien struggles to stand up. He's in immense pain. I have chosen to live on this island in secrets as I reflect on my losses and learn from them. Now I have crops to tend to. When you calm down, find me, and we can continue our conversation. But know this, grandson. Your history will reveal itself to you when you are ready to see it. And until then, you'll find nothing but misery. Ra's al Ghul says, walking away. The interactions between Damien and Ra's al Ghul in this issue are written so well by Joshua Williamson. Really great stuff. Now, switching back to Lazarus Island, we see Ravager looking for Damien. He's missing. Ravager struggles to find out info from any of the other fighters. Connor Hawk is especially quiet on Damien's whereabouts. Ravager then decides to head toward an abandoned ruin. She begins to send a communication to an outside ally, or should I say allies. Those allies will be revealed at the end of the issue. Tis, Ravager. Isn't any communication with the outside world against the rules? Don't worry, I'm not a telltale. Respawn says above in the dark. We see a cool image of him holding a dead fighter. So, you lost your little friends. Respawn says, jumping down to Ravager's level. Did you do something to him? Ravager asks. When Damien and I finally go one-on-one, I'll make sure there's a crowd to witness me smashing his little entitled face in. Respawn says, who are you? Your voice, it sounds familiar. Are you working with my father? Ravager asks. No, I've never had the honor of meeting Slade Wilson. Respawn states. Guys, I originally thought Respawn was Grant Wilson, but I'm thinking that's not the case now. You guys tell me your Respawn theories down below. What are you doing in this tournament? Ravager asks. Same as you, something to prove. Respawn says. I'm not here to prove anything. I'm looking for someone, and I'm starting to think I found them. Ravager states, you should really be careful what you stick your nose into. If I were you, I'd focus more on the tournaments. Respawn says, I have time. It doesn't start until every fighter in the island dies at least once. Ravager says as she begins to walk away. You're right. including you, Respawn says as he stabs Ravager straight through the chest, killing her. We then find out Ravager was the last fighter still with 3 lives. With one of her lives now gone, the Lazarus tournament can finally start. Make sure Ravager is resurrected tonight. The Lazarus tournament begins at dawn. Mother Soul says as we switch back to Damien on another island. He tries to start up a ship to leave. He can't get to fly though. Well, there's an obvious reason for that. He doesn't have the keys. Raj Al Ghul though, he does. It's easier with these, but I highly recommend you allow yourself time to heal, Damien. Raj Al Ghul says, walking out with the keys. I don't have time to heal. I must return to the tournament. Damien shouts. Raj Al Ghul then tells him that in order to win the tournament, he must train his mind and body. We then get an awesome training montage that reminds me so much of anime. You know when the main character trains like a monk or some wise fighter in order to achieve his goals? Well, this is basically that. Ra's al Ghul teaches Damien how to meditate, how to predict an opponent's next move, how to focus, and how to be patient. My favorite image in this training montage is the panel devoted to patience. You see Ra's al Ghul, Damien, and Goliath all in a pose waiting. I might crop this panel out and make it my wallpaper on my computer. Such a great image. I just really like seeing all of them in like a pose, especially Goliath. Now we go to later. Ra's al Ghul and Damien sit at a campfire. Damien asks his grandpa why he is on a beach, why he is on islands. Your father and his outsiders beat me. I've lost everything. My empire, my family. Ra's al Ghul says, those events all happened in the Batman and the Outsiders series. If you guys haven't read that series, I highly recommend it. So you've given up? Damien asks. Sometimes to win, you must lose. Ra's says, I am embarrassed for you, Damien states. Ra's then leads Damien out to the edge of the beach. They both look up at the stars. We find out Ra's al Ghul's name, the demon, comes from Algol, the demon star. Ra's then talks about his purpose. He doesn't take his purpose lightly. Some label him a villain, but he's not. It must hurt that Batman, the only person you ever considered your equal, is your greatest enemy. Damien says, the detective is not my greatest enemy. Ra's states, who is? Damien asks. Ra's then goes on to teach Damien a lesson. Your greatest opponent will always be yourself. No matter how hard an enemy is, they won't be greater than your own mind's drawbacks. I really like this look into Ra's al Ghul's mindset. Now I will say this does feel like it's taking a lot from anime. This whole issue feels like an episode from an anime. Heck, the opening page is drawn like a manga. Whereas some readers might be turned off by this, I honestly really like it. It's a cool outlook on Raz's character that fits. Also, his advice and reasonings are written very well. Now, Ra's al Ghul eventually ends his lesson with Damien, but when he turns around, Damien is gone. Also, the keys to the ship are gone as well. Don't worry, Goliath. My grandson is just not a demon or a detective. He is greater than both. Ra's al Ghul says as Damien flies off into the sky with the ship. We ship to Corto Maltese. 2 clans of ninjas meet up to exchange a book with the secrets to immortality. These ninjas will take the book back to Mother Soul on Lazarus Island. Above in the buildings, Damien watches the ninjas. He tries to figure out Mother Soul's plan. Alfred in Damien's head warns him. If someone as dangerous as Ra's al Ghul was worried about the League of Lazarus, perhaps it is time for you to call your father, Master Damien. Alfred says. Damien completely ignores Alfred and he tries to get a better look at the book below, but then he runs out of time. He quickly leaves the rooftop of the building he was on. Suddenly a group of people arrive to catch Damien. Damien then jumps in front of them and he says, I knew I couldn't trust Ravager. What do you want? Damian says as the Bat family arrive. It's time you came home, partner, Nightwing says. See, Tim Drake, Robin, Red Hood, Spoiler, and Nightwing all stand ready to take Damian home. Now guys, a few things I want to address. The lead up to this reveal was great, this ending is cool, and it gets me excited for next issue. But first, Nightwing's dialogue on the last page does not fit at all with his character. It threw me off for a sec. Also, the artwork on the final page is surprisingly really weak. The artwork throughout the entire issue looks great, especially the Damian and Ra's al Ghul scenes, but this final page looks bad. Like, look at Nightwing's face. Dick's face looks dumb. Also, Damian looks old and really small. I know Damian is on the smaller side, but he shouldn't be looking like an old dwarf. Still, overall, this issue was really well done. The main plot with Damian was well paced and really entertaining. The Ravager side story got me really invested. Also, shout out to Francis Manipal for making an awesome Ravager variant cover. To the artwork. The art for this issue looked good most of the time. It's not Gleb Melnikov's artwork, it's actually a special guest artist, and he did a really good job most of the time. It just feels like the creative team dropped the quality in the final page. It looks rushed. Like Joshua Williamson just wrote a quick line for Nightwing, and the artist for this issue just did a quick page to wrap up the issue. Still guys, I'm gonna give this issue an 8.3 out of 10. I recommend it, but yeah guys, tell me your thoughts on this issue down below. If you liked the video, give it a big thumbs up. New channel, make sure to subscribe, hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on my next Robin video. And yeah, thanks for watching, and peace out.